Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Hazel, and for today's video we're doing a redraw of one of my oldest OCs. Well, I say OC, but technically she's not really an OC. I drew this character back in the 6th grade in one of my very first sketchbooks. And I say she's not really an OC because I was more just drawing a character just to practice drawing, so she doesn't really have any backstory. She doesn't even have a name. I do have a few OCs I actually have made, but those are for another video. Today I just chose the oldest or earliest one that I drew in that sketchbook. So here is a picture of the OC now. As you can see, I was being a little ambitious with the drawing itself. She's facing a mirror and we have the back of the character being shown. She has some interesting fashion choices in that she's wearing a purple tank top and a blue and aqua ruffled skirt, and she has two very long braided pigtails. Obviously I didn't want to draw her with just that kind of outfit, so I kind of modernized the outfit a little bit. Here are the references that I used, and I'm pretty sure this top is from Shein, but I thought it was cute and it was purple, so I decided to have her in that outfit. As for the drawing itself, this is actually the 4th time that I attempted the drawing. Okay, pause. Like I said, this is the 4th time trying to do this redraw. These were the first 3 attempts and I wasn't happy with any of them. But the 4th one came through. Kinda. Okay, back to the video. This is the final composition of the piece. I really wanted to incorporate the mirror aspect of the drawing, but after 3 attempts, I just couldn't get it right. I wasn't really liking how it turned out, so I just had to dig into my Pinterest reference board and get the reference that I liked. So I chose this as the pose reference for this. I might actually use that reference again for another piece, because although I do like this character, I feel like the reference was a little bit wasted on this piece, because I don't know, I really like the street aspect of the reference, but I changed the setting of this one to kind of match the shirt a little bit more. And also I was too lazy to actually draw all the street and stuff that's in the background, so I might use it again for a different character. Yeah, the sketching portion for this drawing was pretty okay. At first I drew the head a little bit too big, but I fixed that. I think my favorite part to draw was the bangs. I really like drawing bangs for some reason. I put bangs on almost all my characters just because, I don't know, I just like drawing them. For the braids, they're pretty low effort. Every time I need to draw braids, I forget how to draw them. I'll try it out and then it won't look like a regular braid. It'll look more like a fishtail braid or something like that. So sometimes I give up and I go look up a tutorial, but here I really didn't feel like doing that, so I just indicated the braid basically. Oh, the hand I'm very proud of. I struggle with drawing hands, which is why I keep making drawings featuring hands, because I want to practice and I don't want to run away from the hand, or else I'm not going to learn how to do them. But these hands actually turned out really nice. I really like them. And I guess that's another thing I like about the reference. I was actually able to complete doing the hands. So yeah, here you can see the other references that I tried to use. I didn't end up using them because it didn't really work out. It was just something about, for the one where she's lying down on the mirror, something about that pose, it wasn't working for me. And then the one with the mirror, I did attempt to do that, but then it was just a whole mess, because in the reference you can't really see her body because she's wearing a, I don't know, sweater or sweatshirt. So I didn't really know how to translate that properly into the shirt that she's wearing, which is a tank top. So clearly I need to practice my anatomy, but that's for another time. Here I'm just coloring in the hair. It looks a little bit weird because for the line art I use like a saturated purple. I don't know, I kind of just like sketching and doing line art in like colorful colors just because, and then I always change the color of it later on. I guess it's just more fun to see colorful stuff instead of using like black right off the bat. At the time of drawing this drawing, I wasn't really sure what I wanted her to look like. I didn't really plan that much for this drawing. I kind of just, not really like threw it together, but kind of threw it together. I basically, after like, since this is like the 4th attempt, I was kind of over it. But I did want to get it done because it's nice to see how things have changed, how your style has changed and everything. Like I said before, that drawing was done in the 6th grade. So back then, I think the 6th grade is when I first started getting into art, because I was kind of into it before. In like in 5th grade, for example, I kind of started to get into art a little bit because my friend was really good at drawing. But mostly what I did back then was just mostly what I did back then was copying pictures from like DVD covers, book covers, and just basically redrawing them like line for line. I would study it to try to replicate it as close as possible. And then in 6th grade, when I had to take art as a elective, that's when I really started getting more into art. So here I'm putting in the background. I decided to go for a beach type of background. I usually never do backgrounds, so I'm actually pretty proud of how this background turned out. This is my first time drawing clouds, like properly, trying to make them actually look like clouds, not like the little cotton kitten. That's not the right word. Like, you know, the clouds that you make when you're in elementary school trying to draw a sky, like those. So I really do like how it turned out, but I feel like it kind of made the character not blend in, but it didn't let her stand out as much. But it's okay. I still really like the background. But yeah, I decided to do a beach because I figured where else would you see the combination of like the braided pigtail and a tank top like that. I thought the beach suited it the most. And plus I needed a background idea, and I didn't really want to draw all those like poles and signs that was in the background of the reference. So I figured drawing the beach was easier to do. So here I'm just rendering the skin. I like to use an airbrush to put in the shadows and the blush before I go in with like the hard airbrush from Procreate and do the harsher shadows. Coloring the skin for this one was okay. I feel like I didn't really put that much effort into it, mostly because I was just over it. I was just trying to get it done, but I think it still turned out pretty well. I tried to keep in mind the fact that she's outdoors and there's a lot of light, so there wouldn't be too many shadows because the light is basically over her head. And I really feel like I need to practice drawing lips from other angles, because every single time I struggle drawing the lips. Every single time. Especially when it's from the 3/4 angle. A big struggle. Clearly I did not learn my lesson from last time, and I decided to do the same angle, the same type of open mouth. But I think it came out, it actually looks better than it did in the last one that I did. It actually came better than the last one. So maybe I am learning. Oh, speaking of this piece, I actually invested in a matte screen protector. I didn't really want to get one because I was worried that it would make drawing a little bit harder, because I do have a few problems with the muscles in my arms, so I didn't want the resistance that the matte covers gives to make drawing harder for me, basically. So that's why I was hesitant to get one. So I ended up choosing one that is magnetic, so I can put it on and remove it anytime that I want. And surprisingly, I'm actually liking it so far. It's pretty fun to hear the sound of the Apple Pencil on the screen. Even though usually I draw and study with music, so I can't really hear it. But you can imagine the sound, basically. And anytime there's like a pause in the video or the music I'm listening to, I'll be able to hear it. So it's pretty nice. At first though, it was really scary hearing the sound on the Apple Pencil though, because it sounded like my pencil was just wearing down. So far, it hasn't seemed to really wear down much, so that's good. And if worse comes to worse, I do have a replacement pencil tip. Back to the drawing, I did put some bluish highlights in her hair to act as bounce light from the sky and the sea, I guess. I probably could have upped the shine a little bit, but I was worried it would look a bit weird. I mean, I still think it looks a bit weird, but you know, the drawing's done, so not much I can do. And back to struggling with the lips. I didn't know, like, the coloring of the lips I struggled with. Anything with the lips I just struggle with. So I definitely need to practice that. And here I'm just rendering the clothing and the ribbons. At first I was gonna try to make it look a little bit satiny, not satiny, silky, but I didn't really like how it was turning out. It looked a bit weird. I just did a generic cloth rendering. This piece, it looks a little bit different from my other ones. Like I said before, this is my 4th time trying to draw this redraw, so I was pretty much over at this point. I feel like I didn't put as much effort as I could have into it. I didn't really have an attachment to the OC, so maybe that's part of the reason why. I didn't really know what to do with her. I don't really know what she's about or anything like that. It was kind of hard to figure out like where she would be, what she would wear, stuff like that. So I basically had to make it up on the fly as I was drawing. So that was the part that I struggled with a little bit. But yeah, here I'm just adding in the highlights, and probably one of my favorite parts. I like seeing it makes everything look finished, you know? And here I'm putting in the subsurface scattering. I don't know. I feel like there should be maybe a little bit more because it's the sun. I don't know. The lighting of this is a bit weird, but I think it works well enough. So I tried to add in some blue lighting as like bounce light, and here I'm adding in some strands of light, and then just some extra strands that are like sticking out, fly away, stuff like that, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And now I'm adding in a little bit of blue tint to the shadows because the light from the sun is more yellow. And here I am putting a not white, but a light, super light gray outline around her, just to make her stand out just a little bit from the background. And now I am recoloring all the line art. Well, I had made it black, but it looked a little bit too harsh. I'm using the airbrush to like turn parts of it brown, some of it dark purple, and here I'm doing the overlay trick that I have. And then I signed it, and that was it. here is the time lapse. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will be coming back soon with some more old OC redraws. Hopefully they'll come out a little bit better than this one, but that's it for today. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day or a good night, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!